here. Thank you so much for having me. I made sure I was in the room this time when Cody introduced me. I know, that's the first thing they said when I walked in. I want to share a story with you today. Typically when I share my I am statements, I share about my weight loss journey. I grew up in a home where weight loss was always a big deal. I grew up thinking that I was always overweight. I was this height in 6th grade, so I was taller than most of the guys. And so it was a battle most of my life. And a few years ago, I realized that I had to change my I am statement. It was one of my most powerful I am statements. And instead of having that dominant thought that I was fat, that I was heavy, I changed it to I am sexy, or I feel amazing and sexy in my size 8 clothing. And the one thing about the I ams is I always thought I would get to a size 8 to feel amazing and sexy. But what happened is I started feeling amazing and sexy first, and the weight loss took on after. So that was convention, 3 years ago, 2 years ago? And after I felt amazing and sexy, I was able to lose 60 pounds in about 6 months. It completely changed my life. Now, one of the things since then, I've gained a little bit of the weight back. And what I realized was my I am statement, I was back in my old patterns. Right, I woke up this morning and did I tell you this, Gail, that the first thing that thought in my head is I feel fat this morning, right? And so if you really do live the dominant statements and they're that powerful. But I was prompted this morning to actually share another story with you. And Cody, you and I are really in line this week, and you'll know this after I share because of the text I sent you the other day. But I want to start with this quote, and the quote says, "Be kind. For everyone you meet is fighting a battle you know nothing about." And it's up on the screen. And so this morning I was grabbing breakfast, and that's why I was late. And I was paying my bill, waiting on the waiter. And on the screen came the news, and I don't watch the news, but Anthony Bourdain, right, was found dead, committed suicide. And earlier this week, Kate Spade committed suicide. And the lady, she was a psychologist that came on, and this was the statement that I realized this was the story I needed to share. And she said that most people today are looking for success. And we believe that we have to be successful to be happy. That life is, and that we hold ourselves to a higher standard. And as women, we have to be the perfect mother, the perfect businesswoman, the perfect wife, and if not, we have failed. And that suicide rates have actually increased since 1999 in every state but Nevada. And in half the states, it's increased by 25 to 50%. And so that really got me thinking. And when I came into the room, I started thinking about my story. And I realized when my I am statements really changed my life. And so I don't think I shared this story I think with Kayla earlier today, but this is a story I really haven't shared in my life. In 2012, I was going through one of my darkest moments in my life. I had made some decisions that I was held a lot of shame about. And I had joined, so you guys know, Send Out Cards in 2009. So I was already into personal development. But in 2012, I made that decision. And I remember it was really close to my birthday, so it would have been in the fall in September. I remember driving down the road and thinking, what if I just ran into the trees? Right, what if but I can't do that, right? I knew I was raised that I had a bigger purpose. And my other thought was, what if I just take all the money out of the bank and disappear? I wanted out of my life that bad. I was in a marriage that wasn't working for me. We had made some decisions that I had a lot of shame about. And my life was at the lowest of low. And that be kind, because you never know what someone's going through. If you had been on Facebook with me, you would have thought my life was perfect. I was traveling the world. I was looking at my pictures. I learned to scuba dive that year. I had been to islands. I had been skiing. I had been to Alaska, right? right? I had this great life. I was no longer in corporate America, but I was absolutely miserable. And the reason that I realized today that I was so miserable is that I was living a life that I thought had to be perfection. That the only way I could be successful and show others that I was successful was to have a bigger home, to make more money, to get the next title in my business, right? I had to be perfect because I thought people would only like me if I was perfect. And I think so many of us struggle with that. I don't know if that's a challenge for you, but no, it's normal. And you sharing your story, was it Heidi? Wendy. You did that. I know you put Heidi. Wendy, right? We all have struggles in life. And one of the things that I'm truly blessed is I was already on an I am statement process. I attended my first event like this in 2010, and so I knew I needed to get into personal development, and I knew I needed to get some help. My life changed when I did that, and a very wise man talked to me about success. And he said, Callie, you're trying to define success as the next goal, but you'll never be happy if you keep doing that, because it's about the next goal and making more money. You've got to be happy now. And he said, I want you to redefine success. I want you to write down words that you think you will be when you are successful. And so I wrote down a long list. And then we went through the list, and it really came down to 3 words for me. I am happy. I am authentic. I am connected. And if I can live my life every day being those 3 things, I am happy, I am connected, I am authentic, then I am successful. It's not about the size of the house. It's not about the size of the bank account, but a bigger bank account is nice.
Not about that.
But it's not about that. It's about who you show up as in the world. And what happened over really the next 5 years, life still gave me blows. I've lost my 2 parents. I had the courage to walk away from the marriage that wasn't working. But had I not changed that definition of success, it may never happen, right? And so I look at my I am statements, and when I started this process, it was all about, I am an eagle. I am the #1 distributor and send out cards. I am, but everything was, if I won, someone else lost, right? I was a very competitive person. And so I played team sports. I played sports. It was never about competitive with myself. And it made me very jealous and unhappy. And I learned through I am happy, I am authentic, and I am connected, that the competition wasn't with anyone, that we could all win. And that's what life is about. That's what about being authentically you is. Because I am the best, but I'm the best me. I don't need to be the best someone else. And when I am, and when I show up that way, life is good. And when I do that, I can connect, because I never know what someone else may be going through in that moment. And I am truly here to inspire other people that they can have the freedom in life they want.
Powerful stuff.